Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and were you expecting someone else? I'm starting a new series, and I think I'm going to call it Jesus Teaches Us How to Manifest. So in order for you to be able to understand what I'm about to teach you, it's important that you make some effort to relax your mind and get in a state of awareness where you can understand these higher things, because they come to me in a state of meditation. That's how I see them, not in my normal everyday world operating self. Let's first, maybe I'll show you some of nature. First, look at what was on this bench. I'm on the top of this hill. Time is meaningful. Rest and enjoy it. All right, here's what we're looking at. It's so beautiful today. So just, the thing that I had this propped up on just fell down. So enjoy the sounds of nature. And I might be a little crooked here, but just get my knees up here. All right, the passage that I was meditating on that showed us how to manifest is in the book of John. I'll put it in the notes because I already forgot the chapter, but we're looking at the story. So manifesting is like alchemy. It's like, I was reading something yesterday actually about Saint Germain, a saint from France, and how it said that he was able to transmute lead to gold. And then it was talking about transmuting the lead, this dense stuff within yourself, into gold in you. So, like sometimes when I meditate, I imagine Christ transfigured, or this golden light of the sun permeating through all my cells, all my DNA. If you just get to a state of peacefulness, take a deep breath. Another way to get into this state fairly quickly is to do wide angle vision. So if you have your arms out like this, all the way out, I can't do it on the phone, where both of your eyes can see your hands wiggling. Like we're here. It's for me to get in wide angle vision, I'm seeing a whole panorama at once. Instead of tunnel vision, we usually look at tunnel vision, like one tunnel at a time. But when you move into wide angle vision, it takes your brain into a different brain waves, alpha instead of beta. All right, so Jesus was a master. He taught us on a multitude of layers. And so depending on where your level of consciousness is, your level of understanding, your level of presence, of staying in the presence with God, if you call it God, with divine love, with yourself with quietness, with stillness. The level that's developed in you is where you're going to get insights when you read the words of Christ. But he's teaching us, let's say he's teaching us on 150 different layers, or 149, or whatever it is, 1,000. That's why it's living. It's a living word. Every time you go back to it, you're going to get I don't know if you can hear that, the ice cream man's in the neighborhoods above. I know sometimes I'm so serious here, but I was just dancing before up here, watching everything, because you got to get in your body sometimes too. That helps you relax and ground yourself. For some of you, grounding yourself and just relaxing and getting into this state might be more important than anything I say after this. So I never know what's being conveyed to who, or who needs what part. I just surrender that. So my heart was pretty broken yesterday. I was pretty much on the floor crying. And I'm just saying that because when I still continue to do my meditation, because it's my practice, because I do it every day, I was just open to so much because I was just surrendered. I was completely surrendered. I came across an Eckhart Tolle video that was like, it said, die before you die. Like, let your ego die. And then any of your feelings of just like, what are we doing here? What's going on? How did this happen again? It was some old childhood wound that got re-triggered. But I'm not going into that right now, unless I'm called to, unless my intuition tells me to. I just wanted to tell you enough to know that, for you to know that it's important to surrender. When you get in a place like that, when you get wounded like that, it's like Rumi says that, and Leonard Cohen put it in a song too, but it's like the crack is where the light comes in. So let's get into the story, and this will help you get into this mystical understanding as well. Just imagine the story is there's a man, and it just says he's been an invalid. It doesn't say what his disease is. Not invalid. He's had an illness. My translation said illness, and I didn't look it up more than that, so it's enough for us today. He had an illness for 38 years. And if you add 3 and 8, that's 11. And 11 is a mystical number, but it's about awakening. People say if you see 1111 on your clock, or that it's you're entering into a higher state of consciousness, or a higher state of awareness. So you and I and this man can all enter into a higher state of awareness. I've done these exercises called the exercises of Saint Ignatius. I think it took me a year to get through them. Monks and stuff do it in 3 months. I think they go for 3 months. 30 days. Sorry, it's a 30-day thing. I just did it over a year, and it was very intense, laborsome. All the stuff that I talk about, that I teach about, it's work, but it's work that frees you. It's work that gets you in a higher state of awareness, a higher state of consciousness, a higher state of love, higher state of understanding, less subconscious. if most people are operating with 90% subconscious, then, we have an opportunity, and I understand it as a calling to choose to be conscious, more conscious than our parents. But anyway, what St. Ignatius would teach, and I've been doing it for 4 years now or more. I don't remember the year I started. But you do the exercises first because it teaches you how to do it. And how to surrender and how to stay in balance and how to... how to grow a sensitivity and not... I'm not saying I'm perfect at this, but know when you're going off the path and when you can come back to the path and you're veering off. But one of the things that I'm just bringing up now is that everything that was taught in the Gospels, let's say, in Christ's teachings, or Christ teaching any miracle that he did or anything that he said or whatever, anything that was done for any person is done for you. And so we are that man right now. I mean, we can see ourselves as Christ if we want as well, because he's teaching us how to align with him. Wow, it's just 11:11 on my video when I was saying that stuff. So Christ teaches us how to imitate him, how to be like him, but also any of the miracles that were done for other people, they're done for us. You put yourself in that. When he went to Zacchaeus' house, he came to your house. This funniest song's coming on. Coming around the mountain when she comes. That's what the ice cream man's playing. Ice cream man or woman. So here's this man. And he's lying by the pool in Bethesda. And Beth means house in Hebrew. I forgot what. And there was a sheep's gate as well. So I remember hearing a long time ago that they would wash the sacrificial sheep or something. The blood would go down in this river. It would clean out, or whatever it was, a body of water. But so the story goes, the man has an illness of some kind, an infirmity. And he's laying by the water, and an angel comes, I think once a year, or I don't know, periodically, and stirs up the water. And it's said that whenever the angel stirs up the water, whoever gets in first gets healed from whatever their infirmity is. And so imagine we're laying there, watching the water. Knowing, because it said he's been there 38 years. That's where the 38 comes in. He's had the infirmity for 38 years. I don't know how many years he's been at this pool, but a lot of years. Because it says, so imagine, I know it's hard for us because we don't think this way. We have very limited thinking in our Western countries. There are people in other parts of the world that have seen miracles happen in front of them. So their minds are more expansive to understand that these things can happen. But this man has been there for years and has seen, let's say he's seen people go in the water after it's been stirred and come out whole. So imagine you've seen that. So where we get into manifesting is he has the belief strong in him that if he could just get in the water, when the angel comes and stirs it, he can be whole. So he has an idea from seeing that this wholeness could take place in him. And he has this desire in him because he has this brokenness and he doesn't want the brokenness anymore. Don't we all have that, We want peace. We want peace in our hearts and love and joy. So we're laying by the water. And Jesus comes up, and it says in the story, Jesus perceived how long this man has been there waiting for this, wanting this. Now, if you're, again, you grow up learning in your logical mind, you don't see these things. But I've done so many meditations, and I'm not saying I'm like half as well versed as any kind of saint or true mystic, or we're all called to be saints, and we're all mystics in our own way, because we each have our own experience of God. So I'm not putting any of that down, but I've seen chakra centers, energy centers in my own body, and there's plenty of times in the scripture where it says Jesus knew what they were thinking, and people write that off in your own interpretation of that. Do whatever you want, it doesn't matter, but it said he knew how long this man has been there. And I'm looking at a piano in my mind's eye. So if you imagine you're a professional piano tuner and you play a piano, you know which keys are off and where to tune it. And so if you think of Jesus as being perfect in harmony with all his centers in himself were aligned, he was balanced, he was full love. And I just thought of a joke, sorry. I guess I'll just laugh to myself. Anyway, so he's full love, and he can see, let's say, again, now we go back to a radio tuner, where this man has belief and where he has doubt, and where he has fixed ideas and where he has understanding, and where he has the fullness of knowing in faith because he's seen it, and where he has doubt. And so here's Jesus, he comes up and he says to the man, "Do you wish to be whole?" And he said, "Yes, Lord." Not sure he said Lord, but he says, "Yes, but when the angel comes and stirs the water, I have no man or woman, no person here to help me put me in the water. And I have no and then when I go myself, so he's able to walk to some extent. When I go myself, someone else always steps in front of me. And so Jesus says, "Rise, pick up your mat, and walk." And the guy does that immediately. He rises, picks up the mat that he's laying on, and he walks. And he's whole. He's whole. But what struck me yesterday, and it was very apropos to what I was going through, actually. It was a teaching for me, now for you, because I just give away whatever's been given to me. I always want to give it away. Is that, so this man has this huge faith where he knows he can be made whole. He can go into this holy, sacred water, however it's there for. Maybe for that story, maybe for this story, maybe for this video. We don't know all the layers of reasons why that water was there for so many years, for so many people to get healing. But this guy knew about the healing, so he didn't have to stretch his manifesting belief to know that he could be healed. But he had an idea that he was fixed on, that if he just got in the water, if someone else showed up to put him in the water, then he could get healed. Or if somehow he was faster than the other people, if everyone else was slow that day, or he was faster, then he would get healed. And so he didn't he didn't have it in his awareness that the God-man, Joshua Emmanuel the Christ, the anointed, the I am, the Christed one, the one that was in full alignment with love and knew how to have the love of God as healing fluid, healing force, pour out of him to other people that needed it. Jesus, who was willing to do that. He didn't know that Jesus, you don't have to wait for the angels. Jesus can show up in your time, in that guy's time, and heal him a different way. Make him whole. So Jesus matched the vibration of the guy's belief that he could be made whole. And so in so many other miracles, Jesus is saying, your faith has healed you. Your faith has healed you. The woman that touched his garment and just said to herself, if I just touch his garment, I will be healed of this blood disorder that she had for 13 years. And right after that, Jesus healed a 13-year-old girl. So there's reasons why they put these numbers. I'm not saying they're not real numbers, because Jesus was of such a high vibration, high love. Anything he needed to do his work in the present moment would show up for him. So this guy showed up and Jesus did this miracle, but Jesus also matched what the guy needed. He wanted the healing and he was willing for the healing. But what I was thinking of is there's so many of us that have this, well, if I go to college, then I'm going to make this kind of money, then I'm guaranteed a job. You know, we can manifest that way, and we're really disciplined and take ourselves to the school, and then it doesn't happen that way. But if you're open and you don't have a preset plan again, and you're surrendered, then you don't know how something's going to unfold. I'm like, oh gosh. I'm thinking of the example that sometimes I've been using the past month is I lost all this weight, do all this yoga, and it's like, and if I had insisted on keep trying it the way that I was trying it for years and years and years, it wasn't working. But we had a girl visit us from, she's 20, visit us from Montreal, and I didn't know where to take her, so we took her to a roller rink. This was before all this stuff that's going on now, depending on when you're getting this. Well, it was before it anyway. And so it's like we can keep trying and trying and trying to do something from our ego mind, and what we're saying to ourselves, let's say, is, I'm not going to love you until you do this, so you better do this. And then we have this resistance in us. But what happened was she and I had fun, and we just went to the roller rink. And then after she went back to Montreal, I kept going to the roller rink. And then I got roller skates. I was roller skating at home. And then I was doing yoga because I wanted the strength training and the balance again in my life, and the mindfulness and the quietness. And so it's like all of this just melted off. And I was working hard, but it was a different kind of work. And so we know with manifesting, when you try and try and try, I'm going to try this way. It's like I'm trying to make money. Oh, I remember some other videos say, if you're running after it, it's running. You're saying I don't have, I lack. And so you'll keep creating I lack. You don't trust that it will come to you. So this guy knew he could be healed, so he didn't have a resistance to that, a block to that. But he kept thinking it had to be him getting in the water, or someone putting him in, or him getting there faster. And just think of the other ways that you're doing that in your life that you don't realize. We don't realize we're doing that. I can't make you love me if you don't. That's what song's coming to mind. Oh, right before this song called Out of My League was playing on my phone. Well, because it came into my mind. 40 days and 40 nights, waited for someone like you to come into my life. 40 days and 40 nights is like how long it rained for Noah. Didn't it? I think it did. And Jesus was in the wilderness 40 days and 40 nights. And Moses was up the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. So it's a period of trial. And it's funny, I forgot that was in that song. I'm like, why is my intuition telling me to listen to that song? But what I was thinking is Christ is like out of our league, you know? But he wants us to join with him. He wants us not to be without anything that he has. He is one with the Father, and he wants us to have the abundance that is in him, the abundance of love, the abundance of presence, of knowing, of allowing, of letting go of limited thoughts, limiting beliefs. I saw this one phrase in the Tolkien movie, the movie on J.R. Tolkien, the biography of him. And Tolkien was saying to the woman he ended up marrying, "You deserve magic." I love that line. What good is it following a mystic path or wanting to manifest if you don't believe in magic, if you don't believe in the possibilities that are beyond your own scope? So look at your own resistance and just be present with it. And you can look at why you have that there. I looked last night on one. And this happens a lot with one of my mentors that I meet with. He's like, that's a lack of trust. It's a lack of trust that the good will come. You know, we try to micromanage things or take care of things, or we think we have to take care of it every step in the equation. It can go back to our childhood, of course, where things didn't happen. We trusted as a child and things didn't happen. The good didn't happen. Oh my gosh, I've never seen people coming down here. And there's bikers coming down here. This is so rad.
Oh God. Ah.
You right?
Nope. Sorry.
Oh, I don't mind. I'm just making a YouTube video.
Be out of your way in a sec.
No, it's fine. That's why I come over here. I didn't even know you could get down from up there. I've tried that before.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You hop through like the gate at the end, and then you just follow it down. It's a pretty easy walk.
On the Style, is that the Style neighborhood where the street is called Style?
Yeah, we live like up in there.
I do too.
Down in this one.
I live up by the park.
There's a gate right at the end of like this cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And then you open the gate, you walk up a little hill, and then you just kind of.
I went all the way down by the sewers and still couldn't get through.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Just look for like.
Okay.
There's a gate at the end of the cul-de-sac.
With the door.
You could probably even and you just open it, walk up the hill. If you go on Google Earth, you can probably find it, and then you just walk.
All right.
And you can come down here if you want.
That's awesome. I love this.
What happened?
I've been coming here like every day. Isn't it amazing?
Oh, it's so pretty.
I don't know.
When we're done riding, we come up here too.
Oh, you do?
We just like sit there for a minute and like gather and eat some food.
Yeah.
It's super pretty.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's good. Well, I don't want to take your place. When you guys come back, I won't be here.
Oh, no
I
problem.
usually every day.
Yeah, it's so fun. We usually like start our rides up there and stuff, but it's a haul to get all the way up there.
I know.
Yeah, it takes probably 30 minutes or something, but it's worth it.
On your bike. I know. I plan to go there next.
Have you done see the ridge right here? There's a loop called the nature loop.
Yeah.
I think, and you just walk the top of the ridge, and there's no bikes, cause no biker trail, and it's.
I saw some kids come with a bike on those stairs and everything, just once.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But,
No, that's
that one's-
awesome.
that one's
Yeah,
super
that's a
pretty.
pretty one too. Yeah, I've done that. I come here like 2 hours every day. Not here, but on the trails.
On the trails, yeah.
Yeah.
We started, right when quarantine started, me and him got super stir crazy. We started
Yeah.
riding and stuff, and now we just enjoy it so much.
I know.
It's cool to like reset and take time and
Isn't
come
it?
out here, because I live, we live up in there, and like. It's
Yeah,
so
I live up by the
close
park.
that
Yeah.
Not coming out here is like.
You see all these people on the
Seems
street,
crazy.
and you're like, why are you guys doing that? You know what I mean? It's like 5 feet away is these trails. Are these trails? Well, enjoy.
It's
That's
super
so
fun.
cool. Maybe I'll run into you guys up here.
Yeah, sweet.
All right. Yeah, I know. It's so nice to see other people. Like, oh my gosh, people.
Yeah, how's it going?
You too. That's so nice. I don't know what I'll cut out because I didn't get to ask him. That's so sweet. See, I ought to have told you guys earlier in the video, I asked God, feel free to manifest whatever you want in my manifesting video. Those guys were so nice. Maybe I'll see them again and ask if they don't mind if I have part of his conversation. I don't think he'll mind. So you just don't know. You don't know if there are 1,000 ways something can come your way. You just get in the flow and trust it'll come to you. But I was saying, yeah, if you didn't receive things in childhood and you trusted that they would come and they didn't, and you got like, I heard my kids singing this the other day. It's a hard knock life. I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Instead of kisses, we get kicked. It's like, we all have our own version of that. I know I experienced really, really deep pain. You know how it is. It's like if you lose someone, if someone passes on and it just guts you, and you're not expecting to feel that pain, and then you do. There's nothing you can do about it, really. I mean, you can try to run from it. I just let myself feel it, and it hurt. But back to manifesting is, if there are 1,000 different ways something can come to you and you only see 4 of those ways, you're limiting. You're limiting how you can receive it and how it can get to you. Maybe things won't be the same as childhood. Maybe there's more love. Maybe there's magic. Magic has to do with the word magus in Greek, which just has to do with ability. It has to do with ability. Like, people will call it magic because they don't understand. Even the miracles of Christ, they could call those magic, but it's really, Christ understood the laws of nature. Like, I understand the laws of manifesting in a lot of ways. That's why when I'm reading that passage yesterday, I had the vision to see it right away. Like, oh, yeah, of course. This guy had the belief that he could be healed. Christ showed up. Christ was magnetized to him because his belief in being healed. I mean, there were other people that believed they could be healed. I don't know why that guy, maybe because of the 3 and the 8 and the 11, it was talking about manifesting or something. I don't know why that guy, Jesus, went to him specifically, per se. We weren't there, but he had the belief, but he also had the limiting belief that he had to be fast or he had to have someone else. The agency is outside of himself. But really the agency was inside of himself. If he believed, as he believed, Christ showed up and said, "Do you wish to be whole?" And he said, "Yes." And later on he finds him and he says, "Go and sin no more. Don't return to the sin." But sin just means to miss the mark of perfect love, I hear in my mind, like, go and don't go back to a place of lack. Stay in this expansive state of mind where you understand that beauty can happen, magic can happen, love can happen. You can be made whole. People can show up on a path that you've never seen someone show up from the top before. I think I'll end with that. I wish you much love.